Our rants and raves of the week. I'm going to start with you, Farah.
Oh, wow. I want to rave about my colleague Adrienne Walker's column. If you haven't read it yet, you absolutely should. It's about an apparent shakedown of
front page, by the way.
There you go, personality,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Apparent shakedown of a French company that's building a commuter rail, and I have to say it is very good to get that company to live up to its diversity commitments, but when you pass an invoice for services that haven't been rendered, that might become extortion. So I don't know.
I've gotten somewhat on a sideline embroiled in this and have talking to everybody involved. In fact, spoke today to a gentleman who claims to have been at every single one of those meetings because he's a good-looking businessman, is the way he put it. And there are a lot of, not to say that any of what Adrienne reported was inaccurate, but there were a lot of layers to this and about how it came about that they felt justified to send that invoice. So I think there are going to be a few other
well, the first one ought to be who's in the group, but I digress. I mean, I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
you know.
He did a good job.
I'm looking forward to the follow-up.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. All right, moving on. John, what do you got?
Well, I have a rave, rather a rant, excuse me, a rant for Jeff Zucker, the king, the top guy at CNN, who came out this week and said that the 9 p.m. talk show format, many years with Larry King, most recently with, I'd rather not mention, is dead. It's outlived its usefulness. No one wants it anymore. I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the format. The problem was that what's-his-name was horrible.
Piers Morgan.
Just
horrible.
absolutely horrible. No warmth, no intelligence, no interactivity with the guests at all. And in fact, I think it would be a shame if this narrative of his got picked up and spread, because I think that's really one of the most valuable formats that that journalism has, is the extended discussion live between human beings. It can convey information in a way that other formats can't.
It's going to be a bust because they're putting documentaries in there, and I don't know about all of you.
No,
but at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I'm not going to get involved in, some complicated documentary, but I don't care what it is, the 20th anniversary of Rwanda, whatever it is. I don't want to watch that then. I want more discussion about news of the day.
Right.
And Larry King is still available.
And he's still not bad for what he does.
That's right.
But there are many other people, too. There are many other people. Part of their issue was going to the same, or somebody they thought had an audience, similar to what we're talking about with Colbert. Does that audience follow him? I mean, you got to think about the chemistry as well.
All right, Callie, what do you got?
I have a rave, I'm tired of being negative Nancy, about Jane Pauley being picked up by CBS. She's going to be doing special contributing reports for CBS Sunday Morning, one of my favorite programs. Some of the conversation about her moving over to CBS said, oh, she hadn't been on TV in a long time. That's not quite true. She had built her own company after she had a short run at a talk show in the daytime called Jane Pauley, and has been doing these pieces about reinvention and baby boomers, and doing it for the Today Show, as a matter of fact, in the last couple of years or so. So it'll be interesting to see what she does for Sunday morning.
Good, I'm looking forward. Dan?
I have a rant for the Massachusetts House, which in the course of doing a very good thing, toughening the laws regarding domestic violence, managed to do a very bad thing, where they have taken, they are requiring police departments to keep any investigative information that they have, even normal public police log information, and make it private and secret, and the press can't get any access to it. There's no need for this. It's never been done before. The Senate has a chance to fix it. I hope they will.
Yeah, well, why are they doing it? I mean, is there some issue we would have known about this Jared Remy thing?
There are victim advocates who say that this is a good thing. It will encourage people to come forward and report. And that's a laudable goal. I mean, I don't dispute that. But this is the public's business. It's public information. It's always been public. Let's keep it public.
I would say that that's probably about the only false note I've heard about that bill, because there's so many other things that are good, including, holding the perpetuator aside and giving the woman space to find a safe place to go. Yes. With there's many pieces of it that make sense. So that's kind of annoying.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's just
I
weird.
have a rave for Steve Casella, who is the executive director of Mass Inc. Polling. And this week he came out with a piece in Commonwealth magazine about all this stuff that we've all reported, us too, on Greater Boston, about the epidemic of the heroin problem. He said, you know, first of all, you got to go back and really parse the data. He says when you do that, it's really not an epidemic. It's really the numbers are about the same, and we're dealing with old data. And some of these outrageous stories, for instance, we all reported 180 deaths since last November, but it didn't include the big cities, so the data really wasn't there. And just to add on to that, I think most of us did the same thing this week without the reporting on the issue of the disparity in pay between men and women. I mean, everybody just kind of blindly reported that it was 77 cents on the dollar. I don't know that's true. And I saw some pushback in various media outlets after the fact that that might not be totally accurate. So, a lesson in don't blindly report things you don't know.
Oh, well, if I can tout myself, the week after the Vermont governor said it was an epidemic,
Yeah.
and I had 3 reporters on in the region, they said, not an epidemic. So there you go.
All right, Helen, you're on it. Under the
Imagine
radar.
that, a politician exaggerating.